This is a broadcast of the Global Emergency Warning System. Emergency information is incoming. Please stand by. Emergency information is incoming. Please stand by. 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 Emergency warning. 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 This is a broadcast of the Global Emergency Warning System. Multiple emergency situations are in progress. Pay attention now for important information. Your personal safety may be compromised. United States of America, multiple weather and environmental emergencies. Russian Federation, environmental and medical emergencies. Australia, New Zealand, cold snaps and ice formation. United States of America, multiple weather and environmental emergencies. Hurricanes Lisa, Gina, Phoebe and Kim have merged into a single hurricane front. This system is extremely dangerous and will impact the east coast of the United States. This system is predicted to move westwards, becoming a series of tornadoes, heavy storm fronts and rain depressions. Do not remain outdoors. Move to emergency centers now. Damage is predicted to be catastrophic in the cities of Miami, Tampa, Charleston, Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York. Maximum wind speeds are in excess of 325 miles per hour. First impacts are expected within 2 hours. The system has gathered energy and is moving rapidly towards the coast. Expect high tidal swells, flooding, loss of essential services such as electricity and water, damage from flying objects. Stay away from unprotected windows. The southern half of the system is expected to impact cities along the Gulf of Mexico in coming days. Citizens of New Orleans are advised to prepare to evacuate west. The volcanoes of Mount Hood, Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, and Glacier Peak have become active simultaneously. Each volcano is predicted to erupt within the next 36 hours. To the west, residents of cities between Salem and Everett are advised to evacuate immediately. To the east, residents of towns in the areas of Kennewick to Kettle Falls are also advised to prepare for the effects of volcano eruptions and should prepare to evacuate. Tremors of 5.6 to 7.4 on the Richter scale have been recorded around each volcano. Pyroclastic flows and severe air pollution are expected. Any persons caught within a pyroclastic flow will be incinerated. High levels of ash deposits over surrounding areas are extremely likely. Move to safety now. Drought continues in the states of New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada and California. Water rationing will commence within the next 24 hours in the cities and surrounds of Albuquerque, Phoenix, Tucson, Las Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles. Water providers will reduce flow to individual premises. Once daily consumption is met, flow will stop until the next day. Heavy penalties apply for any persons or businesses caught stealing water. Should rationing persist beyond 120 days, evacuation procedures will commence. Russian Federation, environmental and medical emergencies. Heat waves across the Arctic and northern Russia. Temperatures have spiked at 25 degrees Celsius. The Arctic has melted completely. The past 48 hours has seen the last bodies of ice melt. As a result, sea levels have risen by a further 80 centimeters in the past 7 days. Meltwater is causing mass flooding across northern river systems across the continent. Towns and ports have been inundated by floods. Authorities are working to evacuate residents to higher ground and safer locations. Obey all instructions given by local authorities. An additional side effect of the heat wave conditions is permafrost melt. Carbon dioxide and methane are being released from the melting permafrost. Methane is causing an acceleration of warming. Furthermore, several locations have reported mass deaths of animals who have grazed near the melting permafrost. It appears that bacteria has infected local animals, which have then passed the infection to humans. Bacteria is causing BSE-like symptoms and 40 deaths have been reported in the past 48 hours. Authorities will initiate quarantine of local farms. Roadblocks will shortly be in place. No persons will be allowed in or out of the area until the infection passes. Far East and Siberia. Massive areas are ablaze in the east. Many properties adjoining the Moscow Greenbelt have been destroyed. An urban firestorm is now in progress. Firefighting units have been dispatched. Military units are also inbound to assist. All citizens are advised to evacuate the areas of the
Kiмкинский лесопарк, Метрогородок district, Измайловский парк, Битцевский парк, Ромышковский парк.
In the east, fires are out of control in many areas. Siberia is being heavily impacted. Several large fires are in remote and inaccessible areas. A large fire front exists around Lake Baikal. Tourists and local civilians are being evacuated to safety. Treatment-resistant hyperactive syphilis infection is active in the region around Moscow, north to St. Petersburg, and east to Chelyabinsk. The virus is an accelerated, treatment-resistant mutation. The virus kills victims within a 2-month cycle. The virus is easily spread via any form of sexual contact. It incubates for several weeks before activating and symptoms occur. Residents of the areas are advised to seek medical treatment immediately. A vaccine is not yet available. Early treatment is imperative. The infected should seek medical assistance at the first sign of the chancre appearing. Symptoms will quickly accelerate over the next several days to a heavy rash, appearance of multiple weeping sores across the body, fever, vomiting, headache, dehydration and then death. Australia, New Zealand. Cold snaps and ice formation. In a reversal of trends in the Northern Hemisphere, the Antarctic is experiencing record low temperatures, vast increases in ice formation, severe winter storms and cold fronts. The weather systems are hurling masses of cold air towards the southern continents. Australia and New Zealand have experienced record low temperatures. Melbourne and Hobart recorded low temperatures ranges of -15 to -3 degrees Celsius. Snowfalls are widespread across the states of Tasmania and Victoria. Essential services are impacted. Power and water supplies are in flux with outages across each network. Public transport services have ceased or are restricted. Some Melbourne tram routes are running, however at reduced speeds, causing delays across the network. Temperatures have dropped to new lows across Australia. All persons are advised to stay indoors in the most central part of a building. If in a group, stay close together for shared body heat. Use all available clothing, linen, blankets for warmth. Do not light fires indoors. These can cause death via carbon monoxide poisoning. Use only fluid fireplaces, gas or hydronic solar-powered heating. Blizzard conditions have been reported across southern New Zealand. Roads around Invercargill are blocked and communications with the area are down. Power and water supplies are impacted in Queenstown and Dunedin. Widespread outages have been reported. Some communications disruptions are in progress. All public transport is cancelled and government departments closed. All air transport links have been suspended until further notice. Visibility has been reduced to near zero at Dunedin and Queenstown airports. Emergency services are on standby but may be delayed considerably. Only contact emergency services as a last resort. All persons are advised to stay indoors. Do not go out. Iceland, high temperatures, flash floods, land rise, volcanic activity increase. Temperatures across Iceland have reached new record highs, with Reykjavik reaching 36.7 Celsius. Heat wave temperatures are predicted to continue for the next 4 days. Flash flooding is expected across rivers in the north and east of Iceland. The communities of
Overafnagelsværfi, Akureyri, Dalvik, Olafsfjordur, and Siglufjordur
must evacuate. Extreme levels of glacier melt are being observed. Move to higher ground immediately. With the increase of glacial melt, pressure on the Earth's crust over Iceland has decreased. As a result, the land is rising at an accelerated rate. Iceland has risen 75 centimeters since the year 2000. Land has risen 3 centimeters in the past year alone. This is leading to a catastrophic increase in volcanic activity across the country. The volcanoes of
Bardarbunga, Orefjallajökull, Hekla, Eyjafjallajökull, Gemsvötn, Katla, Askeankrafla.
Are currently erupting. Expect dangerous levels of ash and particulate pollution in the air, pyroclastic flows, ice meltwater flooding, minor repeated earthquakes. All persons within a 20 kilometers radius must evacuate to safety now. Residents of Reykjavik,
Mosfellsberg, Kopavogur, Gadaberg, Hafnarfjordur
are advised to seek shelter immediately. Move indoors now. Do not go out. Air quality is dangerously low. Heavy lightning storms are in progress across the eastern coast. High levels of electrical activity in the atmosphere are being observed as ash interacts with thunderstorms. Air traffic across Europe is being progressively suspended. The ash cloud is traveling through the atmosphere, making air travel dangerous. Air travel is likely to be suspended for the next several days. Do not attempt to fly through the ash cloud and the airspace over Iceland. Canada, civil and weather emergencies. The civil war in Canada's east has escalated. The Quebec secessionist movement has annexed the states of Newfoundland and Labrador. Canadian Defence Forces are engaging Quebecois forces at La Sarre in ground combat. The Canadian government has threatened to bomb Montreal within the next 8 hours should the secessionists not surrender. The secessionists have threatened to use heavy weapons against Canadian forces. All persons in Montreal should consider evacuating to safety outside of the city. Wildfires are in progress in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories and the Yukon. Maximum temperatures of 41 degrees have been recorded. Low humidity and high winds in excess of 65 kilometers per hour are also being observed. These are increasing the volume and severity of wildfires. All persons in these states must obey local authorities and stay away from all forested areas until such time as the fire threat passes. Smoke and ash pollution will cause health impacts upon local populations. Stay indoors. Very heavy rain, thunderstorms and very high winds are anticipated for Vancouver and surrounds. Winds of up to 165 kilometers per hour are forecast. Rainfall in excess of 150 millimeters is possible. Flash flooding is extremely likely. Public transport will be suspended from midday. All persons are advised to evacuate the CBD and move to a safe place. Residents of local suburbs are advised to report to a local emergency relief center or shelter at home. Persons who wish to stay at home should board all doors and windows, tent roofs with tarpaulin, remove all objects and debris from lawns and backyards, and move to the most central or strongest part of the building, ensuring supplies of food and water for 2 days. Emergency services are on standby to respond. Italy, flooding emergency, Venice. A king tide and heavy summer rainstorms are causing flooding, with swells of up to 4.5 meters being observed currently in Venice. The Meuse defense system has failed. The city of Venice and locales of
San Michele, Isole Vignole, Murano, La Giudecca and Lido di Venezia
and surrounds are under rising water levels. Many buildings are experiencing significant impacts, with some collapsing into the lagoon. The sewage system is being severely impacted. Sewage is entering the Laguna Veneta. Waterborne disease outbreaks are possible. Electricity supplies to Venice have been cut. Rescue and emergency services are attending. The coastal strip is flooding, with significant loss of property expected in the areas of
Malamocco, Alberoni, Sant'Antonio, Sottomarina.
the Venezia Lido Aerodrome and the Venice Marco Polo Airport will close as the runways and terminal buildings are flooding. Persons in the areas of
Campalto, Tronchetto, Tessera, Porto Marghera, Dogaletto and La Casona
are all advised to move to higher ground, away from the coast, as inundation flooding is expected imminently. Commercial water traffic is suspended. All watercraft are asked to assist in rescue efforts. South American countries, drought, heat waves in the north, severe cold weather in the south. Drought conditions continue in northern and eastern Brazil. Heat wave conditions continue in these areas, with temperatures of up to 43 Celsius forecast for the forthcoming week. Persons in these areas should stay indoors, in a well-ventilated or air-conditioned building. Limit movement outside and do not go out during midday and afternoon temperature peaks. High amounts of humidity are also reported. This will cause breathing difficulties, particularly for the elderly. Death from heat stroke may occur in as little as 30 minutes. Extreme rainfall and severe thunderstorms are expected in southern Brazil and the western Amazon within the next 2 days. Up to 4 months of rain is forecast to fall over the space of 24 hours. The inundation will cause mass flooding across the region. Government resources are limited in these areas. All persons in the area are advised to evacuate to a place of safety now. Heavy thunderstorms and severe gale force winds are in progress across Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and northern Venezuela, Guyana and Colombia. Wind speeds in excess of 110 kilometers per hour are being recorded. Large numbers of lightning strikes are being observed. All persons are advised to shelter in place. Enact your emergency plan now. Ensure you have 2 weeks of food supplies available in your shelter. Ensure your shelter is in a place of safety, in an area free of flood threat. It is now too late to go outside to seek an emergency center. Stay where you are. Extreme Antarctic winds are lowering temperatures to record lows across southern Chile, Argentina, the Falkland Islands, and South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. Temperatures of -30°C are being observed. These temperatures are expected to continue for several days. Residents of the Falkland who have not already moved to the emergency center in Stanley are advised to shelter in place. All persons on South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands are advised to shelter in place. All shipping in the area is advised to vacate immediately or proceed to the nearest sheltered port. Do not remain in open water. Sea conditions around the islands are extreme with very high swells. Japan, Super Typhoon, Mount Fuji earthquake. The Category 5 Super Typhoon, Typhoon number 3, aka Typhoon Kujo, is rapidly accelerating towards the east coast of Japan. The typhoon is moving at a pace of 60 kilometers per hour. Winds near the core are observed at 278 kilometers per hour. Kujo is expected to make landfall near Yokosuka in the next 6 hours, and will impact the following cities:
横浜、川崎、東京、つくば、石岡、笠間、水戸、ひたちなか。
Local authorities have activated emergency response measures. Move to your local shelter now. Emergency shelters are now open. All persons are advised to move away from windows and doors. The typhoon will move out to sea, along the eastern coastline, before returning and crossing the coast near
釜石、
Kujo is predicted to move in a northwesterly direction across
岩手、秋田&青森プレファクチャーズ、
impacting the cities of
盛岡、八幡平、小田と、北秋田、弘前&津軽。
Kujo will then move across the Sea of Japan towards eastern Russia. Rail services will be suspended imminently across southeastern Japan. Citizens should expect cuts to power, water and communications infrastructures. Flash flooding and landslides are extremely likely. Roads and bridges may be damaged. Sewage systems may fail. Do not go out. Do not leave shelter. Move to a secure, safe place now. Volcanic tremors are being observed around Mount Fuji. Tremors have been observed between 16 and 27 times daily over the past 3 weeks. The most recent tremor recorded measured 6.1 on the Richter scale. Clouds of steam are being emitted from the volcano, and scientists predict there is a 70% chance the volcano may erupt within the next 72 hours. As Mount Fuji has not erupted in several centuries, and has not had a significant eruption in thousands of years, ash falls of more than 1 to 4 feet are predicted to occur. Heavy pollution of the air is likely. Interaction between the volcanic plume and Typhoon Kujo may cause extreme lightning storms and particulate pollution of waterways. Authorities across the city of Tokyo may invoke emergency powers and force residents to evacuate away from the Tokyo area. Be prepared to evacuate. Follow all instructions given.
Global emergency warning. Magnetic flux detected. The north and south magnetic poles are in flux. The poles have moved to the equator. Up to 6 poles are predicted to emerge over the next 14 days. After this time, the north and south poles will flip and the magnetic poles will reverse. This will cause disruption to a variety of devices and technologies, many of which cannot be predicted. Disruptions to mobile, data, navigation, and satellite systems are expected. The effects of the flux and reversal are unpredictable and may be catastrophic. High numbers of casualties are anticipated due to random disasters caused by the reversal event. ALL persons are advised to exercise caution. Travel via aircraft will be banned temporarily during this time. Where possible, avoid ALL travel and stay at home during the reversal event. Turn off ALL electrical equipment, except for at least one communications device, preferably battery-powered, so you may receive updates to this emergency. Global emergency warning. Magnetic flux detected. Proceed to emergency shelters now. Atmospheric disturbances in progress. Proceed to emergency shelters now. Multiple magnetic hotspots detected. Proceed to underground shelters now. Core magnetism variable. Proceed to underground shelters now.